Alright, let's go and now add a main section. This is gonna go here between the navigations and the footer. I'm gonna give this actually a class with border. I like to do this when I like develop so I can see the area. And so right now you can see like there's nothing there, right? And we're gonna add things to it step by step. So let me actually make this smaller to the side so you can see what's happening. So I'm gonna give it an input area. Input area is a self-closing tag. So it's like this. You can see this input area. In order to add like todos into this input area, and then we're gonna add like a section after this input where we're gonna end up showing the actual todos. So let's just start like adding some classes to make this more presentable. So for the input, I'm gonna first give it a placeholder attribute and say something like what needs to be done, and let's go and give it a autofocus too. So when you like open the page, it kind of like jumps into this, so it's focused. Let's go give it a bunch of classes, make this more presentable. Let's make it to have padding. Let me do what I'm doing, give this like a border too, so I know what I'm doing, and then I'll clean it up. So maybe give it a border blue. So I want to make this take up the whole width. I'm gonna give it like a slightly larger text, 2XL, and I'm gonna make it to be italic. And I don't like it when you select it, it has that border around it, the blue border around it. That's not my blue border. I can like take this border out. You see how when you click on it, it has a blue border around it? That's just like browser behavior. We can go and say when it's focus, so on focus, give it an outline rose 700 color. So now when you select it, well, we gotta start by outline none, so it only happens in focus. Let's also make it really tight around it. Focus outline offset 0. So now when you select it, and I can take the border around the parent class off. Okay, so we want to give it maybe outline 1. Okay, so when it gets focused, you see the lines. If I make this bigger, so that is like I don't want this to take the entire page. So what I can do is I can give it a maximum width. So when the page gets bigger than certain size, it just gets capped to a fixed width. So let's go and give that to the main component. We can give it like max width of like large, and max width of large. Okay, there we go. So in order to like bring this in the middle, we can put a margin on the x-axis and say auto, so it automatically puts that margin around it. We want to make this consistent between the different components. So if main is like that, make sure that like your footer also has this, and make sure like the navigation has this, and the header has this. Okay, so this is 170. This is how it looks like on the not zoomed in. Okay, so let us work a little bit more with this. This font is a little too bold. Maybe I can give it like font light. Okay, maybe thin. Okay, that's better. Let's make this have a slightly lighter background from the rest of the right. Okay, looks better. and we can give this a small shadow, a medium shadow, right? So it's looking better and better. All right, let me think of what else we can do here. So when we start actually working with the app, we're gonna need to be able to get hold of various elements. So let's like give it an ID. This is like a new to-do that we're writing, right? And then let's go to this section and give this one an ID of to-do list. And I'm gonna, like in anticipation of what I'm gonna put in here, maybe let's like put a div in here, say buy milk. Let's give this a bit of a styling class. So maybe buy milk, buy jam. Okay, let's make it widthful. Let's make it text, maybe Excel. Okay, say font normal. So that gives it a little bit more. I mean, it's already going to be, it's going to have stacked up, but we can make it flex column. This is not going to make a change here right now, but just to be consistent with other parts. Okay, I'm going to take these two out for now. And let us go work a little bit more with the other elements perhaps. If we want to get hold of like this navigation component, we would want to give this an ID too. So let's give this like an ID of to-do nav. I think that's about it. And if we come by other things, we can then make adjustments. So you can add a lot of other attributes. For example, when it comes to the navigation, these links, they sort of behave like they behave more like a button for me. So I sort of want to mix some of the styling and feeling of what a link does, but it's more like a button when you click on it, right? So what you can do is you can provide a role attribute and say the role of this is like a button. And what the role does is it helps to define the purpose of an element, especially useful if you use it for something other than what it is like designed to work with. But it's also generally considered like a good practice to include roles to semantically mark different elements and help other applications like screen readers for accessibility. So we can like put a role navigation here. Gotta put this at the bottom. There we go. Okay, let me format this document. All right. Okay, I think this is good for now. We're gonna work a little bit more in the next video on actual list of the to-dos.